I've got a special video for you today. This is a chart setup that I was trading with today. I'm going to show you this setup on a Rinko chart and also a minute-based chart. And stay tuned, I'm going to show all the settings later on in the video. So we're seeing the Rinko bars, but they are color-coded based on Heikin-Ashi logic. I've also got the ultimate delta indicator, painting this histogram below. And then I've got a bunch of reversal and divergence signals with the signal counter counting them up. So on the chart you will see a couple of triangles, the red triangles and the green triangles. This is per bar delta divergence. The gold triangles, that is cumulative delta divergence. Single bar divergence is fairly rare on the Ninza Renko bars. We only had one today, the black inside. I don't really pay attention to single bar divergence on the Rinkos. I'm mainly looking for when the Heikin-Ashi goes into wickless mode, these dark red candles or the dark green candles. And then once I get a dark green or dark red, I'm looking for a breakout above or below. You can see here in this chop, we've got a regular red, single bar divergence, regular green, neutral, regular green. Here's a dark green candle. We do not get a break above, regular red. And then finally we get a dark red candle. We get a breakout lower, breakout below the 20 SMA, nice push down. And with these signal counter signals, you see the numbers range from 3 to 10. So when I get these 3s and 4s, I'm not really paying too much attention to it, other than if we're approaching a key level and I start seeing a bunch build up. Like here we're coming up to VWAP, we're getting a bunch of 3s and 4s build up. So if we do reach the key level, it might be a good place to take a bounce trade. Do get a nice bounce off of VWAP right there. But when I get the higher signals, like here's a 10 signal back here, we have a nice move lower. Here's a 9 and an 8, nice move lower. 8, little pop. Here we've got an 8 signal, don't really break higher. Got this key level right in the way, the 20 there. Here we've got an 8 signal, some double divergence, point of control drawn down into the wick. Get a little 20-point pop higher there. More double divergence. 8 signal, break lower, nice move down. 7 signal, nice pop up. Here we got the 3s building up, but there's not really any key level coming up till the center of the 15-minute range in VWAP. Don't really have any reason to get short, although once we get several large signal counter signals, a lot of double divergence, get some more negative delta coming in. We go into wickless mode on the Heikin-Ashi and break below the 20. We do get a nice push down. Here's some double divergence and an 8 signal. We go into wickless mode here, break above the 20, get a nice run up to VWAP. 9 signal, pull back to the 20. And this is after 10:30 when I'm done trading for the day. So this is what the New York Open looked like on the Ninza Renko chart. This is a micro NASDAQ chart, MNQ chart. It's a Ninza Renko bar type, brick size of 55. Trend threshold of 21. Those are Fibonacci numbers. I like to use Fibonacci numbers on the Ninza Renkos. So let's take a look at what happened on the 1-minute chart. Make that a little bit bigger there. This chart is the exact same setup as the Ninza Renko chart, except I've got the trend and reversal indicator painting the background using the Williams as an input, and I will show those settings later. So pre-market, right before the market open, got some double divergence and a 5 signal. Super aggressive trade right there. Be to take a breakout higher. We got about 25 points of room up to the 20 SMA there. First candle of the New York Open. Got the Williams turning green in the background. Got the Heikin-Ashi turning green. I also turned off the wickless candle feature on this setup. So this is just the Heikin-Ashi core painting the candles either green or red or neutral. Anytime I see a neutral candle, I'm looking for a breakout higher or lower for a possible change in direction. See, we get the break lower there, nice move after this white candle. Another white neutral candle, looking for a breakout above or below. We get the breakout above, nice move up. This candle has some very mixed vibes. Got a big wick on top, kind of medium-sized wick on the bottom. Point of control is drawn up into the top wick, so that's a little bit more bearish. We also have a pretty big top wick on the delta. That's bearish. And we do get a very nice pullback Then we break back above the 20. We get some more positive delta coming in. Makes a little push higher. Start getting some delta divergence there. Pull back to the 20. Got a nice wick right off of the 20 with point of control down in the wick. That's bullish. And then we pop up to the midnight level, this purple dashed line. This is part of the key levels indicator. This line holds pretty much to the tick 2 different times. Here we've got a 6 signal and some divergence. Point of control up in the wick. Some single bar divergence you can see from the black inside of this candle. We pull back down to this pivot point. Here we get the Williams background color change. We had some nice delta coming into the downside on the previous candle. On this candle we start breaking below the 20 with a lot of negative delta. Get a nice move down there. Start getting some divergence and some signal counter signals. Point of control drawn down into this wick, and we pop back up to the 20. Here's our neutral Heikin-Ashi candle. Point of control a little bit up in the wick. Still have the red background. This candle is very neutral to bearish. We got the point of control up in the top wick. Heikin-Ashi is red. The Williams background is red. There's hardly any positive delta coming in, so no reason to go long there. The London open line, this purple line down here, has been holding for a couple candles. When we finally break it, we break it with a lot of negative delta. Get a nice pop down. Got some divergence building up. Got some bigger signal counter signals. We got point of control drawn down into these bottom wicks. Here's some single bar divergence. Delta is drying up. Taking a break above this candle. We pop right back up to the London open over 20 points. Heikin-Ashi candles are green here, but we've got the red background. Never broke above this key level. Get another 5 signal, bunch of single bar divergence. Some very indecisive candles there. The Williams background turns green. Here we get the delta picking up. Then we get a nice full-bodied candle, close above the 20 SMA, this white dashed line, with a lot of delta. That's a good looking trade opportunity right there. We pop up over 25 points after the break. Then we start getting some divergence, some bigger signal counter signals, point of control drawn up into these big wicks, some single bar divergence on this candle. Delta has been steadily decreasing, taking a break below the London open. There's almost 20 points of room down to the 20 SMA there. See on these candles, point of control is getting drawn to the bottom of the wicks. We get some double divergence, a larger signal counter signal, a neutral Heikin-Ashi candle. You see delta is increasing. The Williams background turns green. Got some single bar divergence. Taking a break above that and whole number. Push back up over 30 points to VWAP. Get some bigger signal counter signals. Some more divergence coming in. We drift back a little bit lower. This is after 10:30 when I'm done trading. So same setup as the Rinkos, except I'm not using the wickless mode. And I've got the Williams background on here. Lots of good trade opportunities this morning. So these are the settings. I've got an instance of the MMT trend and reversal with the Williams as an input series. Default settings. The background is being painted by the trend core with my favorite settings of 7 and 50 and 50 for overbought and oversold. I've got the SMA filter on with a period of 3. Then I've also got the divergence and the reversals on. Look back period of 3 for the reversals, 60 and 40 for overbought and oversold. I've got the wide offsets for the markers, so they are off the charts. Divergence is a look back of 1, overbought, oversold of 60 and 40, again with the wide offset. Then I've got 4 other instances with the same settings for the reversals and the divergence. The Williams is the only one that I'm using for the background color. All of the other instances, I'm just looking for reversals and divergence. I've got one with the default input series. I've got one with the stochastics as an input series, one for the MACD, and one for the RSI. And I've got the signal counter counting up the signals that are off the charts and printing these numbers. For the ultimate Heikin-Ashi indicator, I've got the Heikin-Ashi core painting the candles, all default settings. Wickless mode is off, using the default input. So those are the settings and the things that I'm looking for when I'm trading this setup. Of course, I'm always looking at higher time frames as well. I'm using my 1-minute chart for entries. There are links to all the fun toys in the description. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Apex has 80% off. Take Profit Trader still has their no activation fee deal. Tradeify has some great sales going on. And anyone that's out there using code MonkeyMan is absolutely amazing. I really appreciate all the support. I hope you got some good ideas for your own trading. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.